Today is Monday, June the 8th, and the market started with a down day for Apple, and it was this June Zhang from Rosenblatt Securities who issued a sell on Apple. This is his history, his profile. He was a hold on Apple until it popped up in 17. Then he was a buy while it was flat. He was still a buy while it was at the top. It started to drop. He didn't do a sell up here. He was a hold all the way down. Not a sell, he was a hold all the way down. He was a hold all the way up. He was a hold at this point. Now he's a sell. If you look at the guy's performance, first of all, he's a 2-star rating on TipRanks, meaning he's ranked 3,400 out of 5,237 analysts that TipRanks follows. If you look at his straight return with no benchmark, wow, he's really successful. 56% of the time he's right. His average return is 2.2%. Let's take a look at it over 2 years. Not so good. But let's just take a look at 1 year, and let's look at his benchmark versus the S&P. So if the S&P hadn't been up, if you take the S&P's gain out of the equation, this guy's right less. This guy's minus 45% of the time and a negative 3.4% return. So based on his downgrade and his temporary spook on Apple, I bought 600 shares today, 300 in the pre-market and then 300 at about 10:30 in the morning, and then later on I sold 200 weekly calls against my 600 shares. So let's look at FinViz, where decliners led advancers 2-1. The market volume was low in the Dow, was higher than usual in the NASDAQ, and that was probably due to heavy trading in Apple and the other tech stocks, because if you look at technology, it was led by Apple down here in bright red as a consumer good. I don't know why. Oh, it's a consumer good, I suppose. But the technology stocks were down. The financials were down. The industrials were down. Half of healthcare was down. So not a really good day. And down 15 on the S&P. So let's look at some charts. If we take a look at the S&P, let's look at it with our cloud here. We're looking at 4 different time frames. And we can see that from a daily point of view, let's look at pop open the daily. The daily coming down to the 8 EMA and down to testing the gap. We know that gap has to close sometime. It bounced off of the gap the day after the gap. And then 2 days later, that was Monday, Wednesday, and then Thursday was a holiday, and this was Friday. This was Wednesday, this was Monday, and then today, Monday, came to bounce off the 8 EMA and come close to the gap. So looking at a weekly basis, can't see much immediately predictable. Go back to our 5 charts. And the Chiku span ended the day just at the 5-minute cloud, just at the 15-minute cloud as well. So that is of double importance. Let's see if it breaks, or let's see if it falls based on this gap and the caution before Fed Chairman Powell talks to Congress. I don't know if that's Tuesday and Wednesday or Wednesday and Thursday, so keep an eye on that or check to see. But based on him talking this week, I expect we're going to come down and test the gap again and possibly move into the gap. But tomorrow's opening, we'll be looking at the Chiku span on the, these are both 5 minutes, I'm sorry. We'll be looking at the Chiku span on the 5-minute. Apple had a nice little pop up at the end and broke through the thinnest part of the cloud. Should be 15 minutes. What other chart? The 1 hour seemed to be resistance for Apple, so we're going to look for a pop into the 1 hour, maybe a test of the 8 EMA. Apple's got a flat cloud, so Support was held today by the Chiku span on the cloud. Let's watch and hope that we continue to maintain that support right there. So I'm going to mark that visibility for 1 day only. So we'll be able to see that on the chart tomorrow when we come back and look at the daily chart. We're going to remember that we watched the Chiku span here at the top of the cloud. Caterpillar was down 65 cents. Friday is trading ex-dividend. I'd like to take advantage of the Caterpillar weakness here and the Caterpillar dividend that will be paid in August for stockholders of record on Thursday. Now we've got the flat cloud and we haven't come down to test it now for Friday or today. So I'm going to look tomorrow, and if we get another move up, I'll start to nibble in on Caterpillar again, and I'll put a stop at the top of the cloud. Gold didn't do very much. WDC was a nice, well, only up 15 cents. And Whirlpool was down just 13 cents. We're looking at the 4 time frames. We had support. This should be a day. This should be 15. This should be 5 minutes. This should be an hour. So 15 minute, 1 hour looks like it's been support for Whirlpool. I'm still long the stock, 400 shares with 145 short calls for Friday. So that's where we are. Not really much action. So I don't expect too much tomorrow either, because everybody's thinking about the Fed. Fed Chairman Powell's comments could move the market one way or the other. And that could be tomorrow, could be Wednesday. Please check.